No, but that's not what was done. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the Inflation Reduction Act, which created a drug price negotiation program in Medicare. Basically, the government established price controls for prescription drugs, so people wouldn't have to pay too much for drugs. That's been repealed. That means that there are no price controls. That means the prices can go up without any controls. How does that help working class or middle class people?
Well, now you, once again, I love it. We're gonna rewind that because once again, he does it perfectly. They repealed it. Like, you gotta show them physically what it means, and then drug prices rising. Like, you gotta talk to them like they're 5 years old, and they're still gonna tiptoe around it. Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a clip from my previous live stream that I did. Just want to let you know I go live every Sunday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is, go ahead and Google that so you can meet me and have a conversation on my next stream. Once again, I appreciate you clicking this video. Now let's enjoy the video. So like I said, Project 2025, okay? A lot of people laughed at it. A lot of people thought it was just, just like everything else, Democrats kind of just overplaying their part, overplaying their cards, getting all hyped up and just, fear mongering when it comes to a 900 plus page booklet, instructions for Republicans. People thought we were crazy. Like, nah, they're not going to really do that. Trump is just saying all these crazy things. He's not going to really destroy democracy. He's not going to really do these horrible things that is in plain text in this document. No. And then when Trump was asked about it, I know nothing about it. I haven't read it. I don't know how to read. I don't know how to write. I know nothing about it. And people believed it. Let me tell you here. All right, check this out. Project 2025 is a plan created by conservative groups to prepare for a future Republican president, especially if Donald Trump wins in 2024, which he has. It is a playbook to reshape the U.S. government by one, and these are some of the things that have happened already within 6 months. Let's pay attention here. Firing thousands of federal workers who aren't loyal to their agenda. Did that happen? Did that happen? Oh, it did. Okay, that's check one. Give the president more direct power over government agencies. How has he implemented that? Who's the director of the FBI? Who's the in charge of the DOJ? Loyalists. That is the key word, loyalists. So therefore, he is essentially in control of these other agencies, which are supposed to be non-political. But I mean, I guess that's not good enough, right? 3, rolling back progressive policies on climate change, immigration, LGBTQ plus rights, and more. Done all this in less than 2 months. Replacing career experts with political allies, rewriting how the government runs to align with their far-right priorities. It is led by the Heritage Foundation and supported by many Trump-aligned conservatives. Critics say that it's a blueprint for authoritarianism. Supporters say it's about restoring presidential control. Now you tell me what the hell is going on. So DJ Fusion, you say you like Project 2025. So in the words of Mehdi, are you a fascist? Do you support fascism? Let me know. Don't be shy. Just say yes or no. Come on. Don't be shy now. You're neutral. See, that's the exact words of a coward. I'm neutral. You're a coward. That's what you are. So guess what? You're going to be on a timeout, bro. Because now you're just annoying me with with just nonsense. And I don't like to waste my time with people like that. I'm watching to see what happens. Bro, it's going to be too late if it all comes down. That's the whole point, is to prevent that from happening. It's like sleeping around with a bunch of people with no protection, just waiting to see when you'll catch a STD, to see if STDs are real or something. At that point, it's a little too late. But no, it's a bunch of idiots. A bunch of idiots, bro. All right, so when it comes to trying to combat this Project 2025, which essentially is leading to a dictatorship, I mean, there's no other way to sugarcoat that. It's no way possible. One is understanding it. And we have people like Marc Lamont Hill who do a beautiful job at doing that. So let's go ahead and take a listen. So, of course, we're not going to watch the entire video on his channel. It's 30 minutes long. If you guys want to watch the entire interview, go to his channel. Here's his channel right here. Hold on. Right here. Go to his channel, support real progressives, and listen to the entire interview. But we're going to tackle two main points in this discussion. And to me, like, it's no more talk at some point. At some point, there's going to be no more talk. We're going to have some sort of action, because these people, like this guy here, don't care about the majority of Americans out there who's going to suffer at the implementation of Project 2025. They don't care. So how can you converse with people who don't care about your existence, your well-being, your pursuit of happiness? How do you do that? Let's take a listen.
Favor of it should be able to implement it using state resources.
More than 180 court rulings have at least temporarily paused Trump's orders. Some federal judges have ruled that his actions, from mass firings to attacks on law firms, are unlawful and unconstitutional. You are a lawyer, so I'm going to appeal to your expertise here. Do you feel like Trump is upholding the rule of law?
Very much so.
Okay, DJ Fusion, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're getting annoying. For the past 4 years, inflation has been coming down. What are you talking about? Are you just going to continue to talk about nonsensical things that no facts back up? Like, now you're testing my patience. So either be quiet or stop saying stupid things, because that makes no sense. Come on.
You know, like I'm saying, this is the battle is joined now between kind of various schools of thought with respect to the Constitution. And what's happening now is that an activist judiciary is kind of imposing its will in what are in the main executive branch decisions. Now, the branches were always supposed to provide checks and balances, but they weren't meant to usurp. So, you know, this is going to be the natural response of the left to kind of to block Trump through orders, but these orders are also getting overturned in many cases. I think, unfortunately.
Wait, hold on. But the orders against Trump that are being struck down by courts, you're saying, are reasonable and lawful, but the ones that are striking down Trump's executive orders are activist?
The executive orders are basically policy directives, and you know, to even enjoin a executive order is it's not judicially ripe. It's kind of like attacking him.
Well, doesn't it depend on the order?
Statement. It depends on the order, sure.
Under what justification could Trump reasonably crack down on universities? Particularly, I'm thinking about the Harvard example.
Oh, shoot. You know what? I was supposed to start at the beginning here. I'm sorry.
People use the word, but I'm not sure they always know what it is. What exactly is Project 2025?
Sure, and I can even back up a little bit. I am a lawyer by training, always in private practice, so I'm not a politician. But what had happened was I was always very much a admirer of Donald Trump and his work, and my family's from New York City initially, so they saw Trump and really take back the city and build it to greatness again. I served in the first Trump administration, and I saw how difficult it is for an outsider to come into government. So when I joined Project 2025, we had left power and the conservatives were disarrayed. And the hope there was to really take this moment and retool, to bring people together to kind of get on one page. And that's what Heritage had done. Heritage is a think tank, so they provide advice to people in government.
Yeah.
And this was a real ability to reach across various parts of the conservative spirit and build something that would enable the next conservative president, when he or she went into office, to have a kind of an assembled group of people who now better understood how to work in government and had some, alignment.
So, to me, that is the first issue when it comes to these think tanks. Okay. Tell me if I'm crazy or not. Let me know if I'm crazy. It is very possible, okay? We, as the American people, elect these individuals to represent us, okay? In the Senate, in the House, president, whatever. They're supposed to act on our best interests. If they run on policies A, B, and C, we vote them in hopes that they're going to enact or activate, or at least to the best of their abilities, policies A, B, and C, because that's what we wanted and we voted for them and they win. That's what we expect for them to pursue. But when it comes to these think tanks, like he said, is they work along with these politicians to do what? Oh, to enact their vision of America. I mean, isn't that contradiction of what a democracy is and what we have set up for them to serve the American people, which they're supposed to? I mean, that's just kind of weird. And they don't care that they know that people know that they're doing this. To me, that's the crazy part.
Better understood how to work in government and had some, alignment.
A major area of alignment between Trump and Project 2025 is the overhaul of the federal government, which, of course, was spearheaded by Elon Musk and the Department of Efficiency. You have previously criticized unelected bureaucrats, elites, and, quote, big tech oligarchs. But you've praised Elon Musk, and you said that he was sort of key to implementing this part of Project 2025. Do you stand by your support of Musk?
The central premise here, and I do, of course, the central premise of Project 2025 was deconstruct the administrative state. And to back up, the notion here for you viewers around the world is that we have a government built on three branches, the legislative branch, the executive branch, and the judicial branch. And what had happened in the last 100 years was this fourth illicit branch, kind of called the administrative state, has sprung up, and it had taken powers from these other three. And that was populated.
I've heard you talk about this, sort of almost like it's an anti-democratic thing. People didn't vote for these people.
Exactly.
They're doing what they want to do without support. No one voted for Elon Musk, though.
Well, they absolutely did, in the sense that he got behind President Trump. He went out and stood on stage in the rallies, and he was very public. And
what sense does that make? And once again, these types of people don't care. He's complaining about rich people, and he's supporting Elon Musk, who single-handedly helped Donald Trump win. I mean, if there was a face to hypocrisy, this would be it right here. I don't understand how that works. At least pretend to not understand that. You see what I'm saying? Like, at the least, pretend like you have no idea what is going on. But no, he's like, yeah. I mean, because he helped our vision, so therefore we're going to tolerate this, the richest person in the world. We're going to tolerate this. But, you know, when it comes to everybody else and all these other rich folks who don't want to partake in what we're trying to do to this country, nah, we don't like them. But hey, Elon Musk, he's cool though, right?
And his support.
But that's not the same as voting for somebody.
Well, certainly.
And,
I mean,
and the Department of Government
Pennsylvania,
Efficiency isn't an act. It's not like the Department of Education or the Department of Defense, right? I mean, this
like,
is
he's a
Trump-created
consultant to the
department.
president. He's an advisor to the president. So ultimately, he was not empowered, but to make the decisions, the cabinet secretaries are those who are confirmed.
Yeah.
But look, most of the staff the president has is advisory in nature.
I see. So, but if you're against big tech oligarchs, who, if not Elon Musk, would qualify as a big tech oligarch?
Well, big tech oligarchs, like everybody else, have a chance to come home and like correct their ways.
And stop being big tech oligarchs.
Well,
There you go. Like, they all have a chance to redeem themselves if they understand and fall in line with our vision, with our agenda for America. There you go. Wow, that's just like, oh man, it's crazy.
Well, they are. Many of these oligarchs are extremely talented people, in the main. But the system, I believe, over time has allowed them to accrete too much wealth. It's very important.
How much wealth does Elon Musk have, though?
Well, I'm saying we probably have some common ground on this, but to be clear, these folks make the pie larger for all of us.
But that's a different issue. You specifically have an issue with unelected bureaucrats.
Yeah.
And this guy was unelected and ran a government office that was created. That's bureaucracy.
Yep.
You're against elites. He's the richest person in the world and a big tech oligarch. He's amassing power and he owns X. Tesla, I mean, would you at least acknowledge that maybe, just maybe, you're making an exception for Elon Musk? That this guy, he clearly satisfies the conditions for all the things you were criticizing before.
What's critical about Elon Musk is that he's focused his resources almost in a selfless manner. And certainly he's extremely wealthy now. And he was extremely wealthy.
Billionaire is rough.
But no, I mean, it's reportedly gave up a quarter of his net worth. Now, he's extraordinary net worth. It makes no difference. But, he took his time away from his personal pursuits and volunteered for the government and did this. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of the promise of Project 2025, that there are talented people all over the country that need to kind of put down and their tools and their careers and come and serve in public life and make this government better. So,
what is he talking about? What is he talking about? It is stupidity at its best. Like, Elon Musk is a true patriot because he sacrificed a little bit of his billions of dollars to come to a government which nobody elected him to, and he had issues with other agencies that people didn't quote unquote vote for, but he wasn't voted for, and literally stuck his greedy little greasy hands within our information, within our government agencies, and crippled it even more. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. That is a good thing. I don't know, man. Wow.
Project 2025 proposes creating barriers to social programs, including healthcare, food assistance, and housing, while completely eliminating low-income early childhood education programs. I'm thinking specifically of like Head Start. Also giving tax breaks to wealthy households.
Troy, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? You said reduce themselves to who? If you're listening to the conversation, then you wouldn't be asking these stupid questions. The whole point is that he's making an exception for Elon Musk being a billionaire because he agreed with Marc on oligarchs here in America and how that's not helpful to the American public overall, except for Elon Musk, who's the richest person in the world because he worked along with Trump on getting him elected and quote unquote did some good things in government in the past few 4 or 5 months. Come on, man, pay attention, bro. Like, damn. If it's stupid, it pays your salary. All right, hey, man, Jesus Christ, man, you make this really, really hard, man. Like, I really don't like having stupid conversations, and I'm literally wasting my time having a stupid conversation with you.
How do you make sense of these measures in light of this argument made by Project 2025 advocates like yourself?
Jesus
that this
Christ.
is going to help everyday working class Americans?
Well, I don't agree with the characterization about barriers. I know, look, my family came from nothing. My dad grew up in a housing project 2 miles from here in the Alfred E. Smith. So when I was a senior at MIT, I moved my family's belongings out of the housing project. The reality is that we have a social net in this government that was conceived to help the neediest and lift them up. But over time, that's been turned into, it's exaggerated and been used by a set of people to kind of make a permanent underclass.
So one of the proposals is to cut food assistance, but specifically to reform the SNAP program to add a new set of requirements around work. Is that fair? Is that accurate?
Well, it's many things. One is, like, if you look at the nature of our food, and I think this is where Bobby Kennedy, and this is part of the whole movement, it's not the healthiest food in the world. We need to be a much healthier country, and that's the promise of Maha. So it's in large measure making sure what we're subsidizing is better for us to even eat in the first place. But two, the work requirements are fair. We want to make sure that people are engaged.
So before you could just get the access, and now there's something in front of it, a work requirement that stops you from getting it directly.
I believe that was in existence. There's various forms of work requirements.
This was re-implementing the requirement. It had existed once before under a previous administration. It was gone. Now they're adding this thing that you have to do before you access the stuff. It's called a barrier. How does it get?
And I love how Marc, once again, and this is what Mehdi and Marc do very well. Repeat the question to these types of idiots slow. You got to speak to them slow and in a manner where they understand you. Because if you talk too fast or too much, you lose them. And then when they understand you, then they try to filibuster with nonsensical things that don't mean nothing to the question. So then you got to repeat it and use a lot of hand movements so they can understand, drawing them a picture. Marc literally said, oh, so adding roadblocks, adding work requirements is supposed to help. Oh, no, it wasn't really, because Bobby Kennedy, for whatever reason, I'm bringing him up. No, you are advocating that. Roadblocks, more paperwork, more obstacles for people to get their food assistance or Medicare. That's not what it really, come on, man. These dummies think they could just talk in circles or something. No, that's not how that works.
Getting rid of price controls on prescription drugs encourage people to work harder and make their lives easier.
The price control, our big pharma thing is so broken. Most of the commercials you see today are being paid for by big pharma. Those are ultimately being paid for by you, the consumer, when you go and buy those drugs. The nature of it is that the entire thing needs to be retooled.
No, but that's not what was done. You're familiar, I'm sure, with the Inflation Reduction Act, which created a drug price negotiation program in Medicare. Basically, the government established price controls for prescription drugs so people wouldn't have to pay too much for drugs. That's been repealed. That means that there are no price controls. That means the prices can go up without any controls. How does that help working class or middle class people?
Well, I'm not.
Now you once again, I love it. We're gonna rewind that because once again, he does it perfectly. They repealed it. Like you gotta show them physically what it means, and then drug prices rising. Like you gotta talk to them like they're 5 years old, and they're still gonna tiptoe around it. Oh man, but like the simple-minded people would buy this, which is why Trump won.
Drugs.
But watch,
People wouldn't be able, or people wouldn't have to pay too much for drugs.
Watch.
That's been repealed. That means that there are no price controls. That means the prices can go up without any controls. How does that help working class or middle class people?
Well, I'm not sure that's the case, and certainly Trump has done a lot with bringing down drug prices, insulin prices, and part of the funny thing about being
Like what?
Project 2025 is
Like
I'm
what?
getting quizzed on a 900-page book.
No, I'm just pulling an example
Certainly,
you
he did
gave.
this in the first term. We can back up and point out the various successes. But believe me, he's going about reconstructing this whole system. It's not going to happen overnight.
Okay.
But that he's been clear that this
it's not gonna happen overnight. Carry the 1. Okay, divide that by 4. And then carry the 6. Okay. It's been 7 months, going on 8 months. When is this going to happen then? Oh, but he can throw out all these executive orders to get all the immigrants, all the brown folks out the country, right? What's Oh, he passed a big, beautiful bill just in time, just like he wanted before the 4th of July, where it gives him all these millions of dollars of tax cuts to the rich and wealthy. He got that. Oh, but these drug prices, like, he's going to get to it. It takes time. It takes like 4 years to get this to happen. Come on, man.
This is not an attack on entitlements, and the left has framed this as taking things away.
But I'm just giving
it's
two
an
examples.
efficiency.
I'm just giving 2 examples. Reforming the SNAP program. We've talked about the drug prices. Getting rid of the Head Start program. How does getting rid of the Head Start program help anybody?
Well, again, with the SNAP, the other thing to realize is that when you have 20 million kind of undocumented people march into the country, you're gonna overload a lot of these social provisions, and that makes it much harder to even administrate in the first place.
No, but I mean, literally, food stamp benefits went up, and now they're being repealed. They're dropping down, so people literally will have less money for food.
Well, the amount of food, the point was that they were giving these food stamps away to illegal aliens coming in and basically offering people free food, free everything, free phones, free credit cards, and that was almost an entire entreaty for people to cross the border. And it's unfair to the Americans who are being pushed out in a way that there still is a group of people trying to make their way up the ladder and now are being crushed by this recent onslaught of people.
Do you think they're being crushed by having Head Start cut, by having their food stamp benefits cut, by having their health care benefits go down, by having their pharmacy prices go up?
I think with the Head Start.
Hey, that right there, what old boy just did, that's called scapegoating. That's called avoiding the root issue and scapegoating to a fake solution. Oh man, I mean, with food stamps and Head Start and all these other, programs that we're cutting, to where they're barely going to be useful, it's because of the immigrants. Oh, billions of I'm surprised they ain't said the B word. Billions of immigrants coming to our country, putting stress and strain on our social safety nets. Oh my God. So the best thing that we can come up with is to cut it. It's to cut all the social safety nets. Snips, cut the nets. Really? That is your plan. Wow. Jesus. Okay. Got you. Let's run that back.
It's an onslaught of people.
Do you think they're being crushed by having Head Start cut, by having their food stamp benefits cut, by having their health care benefits go down, by having their pharmacy prices go up?
I think with the Head Start, the notion is to push education down to the states. If states want to provide that, they can. But the reality is that the education system is broken. And I say this as someone who went from K through 12 in the public school systems. But we are getting a failing grade when it comes to just simple arithmetic and reading and writing.
You know, the data shows that Head Start makes you more likely to do well in reading, writing, and arithmetic.
Well, if that's the case, the state governors who are in favor of it should be able to implement it using state resources.
More than one.
And once again, that even on its own can be an issue, because we know a lot of these public schools, if they are failing, a majority of it has to do with little to no funding. So now you're putting more stress and strain on the states to do this. How? Once again, like, their solutions are not solutions. But like, once again, like, it's literally too late to question all this. I mean, at least not from our end, but from people who are listening, who are Trump supporters, because he's already in office and now people are asking these questions. It's too late. It's already happening. I wish we could have prevented this, right? Wow, that's crazy. All right, let's go to the next section, 1951.
American or not. But I want to get to something you said early in our conversation. You talked about family values and traditional values. Another central objective in Project 2025 is restoring family values and using the federal government to enforce certain ideas, Christian ideas, frankly, about the nuclear family, about marriage, about gender, and about reproductive rights. What authority does the government have to impose biblical ideas about morality in public life?
That's, the importance of the family is that you have a investment in the future, and that's what it is. We as a population, there's a big depopulation push across the world that believes that the globe is overpopulated. The realities of Western civilization.
What about the biblical part? I want to focus on the biblical part. What authority does the government have to impose biblical ideas?
Well, I don't think it's imposing biblical ideas, but promotion of the family.
Fair enough. Let me read something to you then. Yeah. Project 2025, page 481. Protect faith-based grant recipients from religious liberty violations and maintain a biblically based social science reinforced definition of marriage.
Whoa, look at that face. Look at that face. Oh, I didn't know you I didn't know you read it. Oh shoot, I didn't think you was gonna find that sentence on page 400 and something. Do you see what I'm saying? Oh, I didn't know. I thought I can kind of BS my way around your answer or around your question and kind of tiptoe in ballerina dance, spin and do the. No, I'm sorry. When you're speaking to someone who knows they thing, who stands on principle and got the receipts, like, I'm sorry. You ain't come prepared, bruh. Look at his face. He did not come prepared. Man.
Biblically based.
Here's the thing. They're talking about promoting mother and father and having kids.
Based on what text?
That's based on about 10,000 years of human civilization.
Yeah, but it didn't say based on the Gilgamesh epics. It didn't say based on the Enuma Elish tablets. It said based on the Bible. And you're telling me that it's not biblically based when it literally says word for word, maintain a biblically based definition of marriage and family.
It's talking, the first part of that is talking about stopping the federal government from basically penalizing in particular Christians and Jews who are pursuing these things. As you know, there's
We
all
agree on
kinds
that
of
part.
cases.
That's why I'm focusing on this
Yeah.
other part, which is what authority does the government have to maintain I mean, I need you to at least be honest with me. Can you acknowledge that Project 2025 does want to impose a biblical vision of this?
Look, the country is based on Judeo-Christian values. Those are value systems. It's
Biblical
not
values. That's the Bible, right?
That's Judeo-Christian values built the
Old Testament,
Constitution.
New Testament, Bible.
It informed it in large measure. This is why the United States stands in the first place.
On what authority does the government make?
First off, that is totally incorrect. I actually watched a video where someone broke down Christian nationalism and how that originated and how that looks today. And he is so wrong. Our founding fathers literally did not want this to be a Christian nation, let alone any religion-based country, because they already been through that. So once again, if you don't know, he will talk over you, or he will tell you some things and you will just assume it's true. America was not based on any religious belief. Read the just read the text, man. Damn, man, come on. All right, let's go.
That call.
Look, you walk around at the various government buildings. This entirety of this American experiment was built on those value system, and that's basically a lot of the Enlightenment that went on to say, no, you don't have to subscribe to them, but these are the enlightened values: the freedom of speech, the freedom to pursue religion. That's what brought these people to America in the first place. And so, look, you got to have a value system, and if you knock that Bible and that Judeo-Christian belief system out of the way, what is the value system you're replacing with? Neo-Marxism? Like, where is this complete secularism?
Somebody said I want it to be based on the Quran.
On the Quran, that's obviously a belief system, but that's not what was historically the basis of the United States.
No, but what I'm saying is, what if the next president is Muslim and the majority of people in America vote for him? Would you be okay then with the election and the democracy being the deciding factor on what kind of values we impose?
It's being done in a democratic fashion. That's probably the right result. But
Doesn't that
the
scare
point
you
is,
though? We could end up in a theocracy, no?
look, the Judeo-Christian belief system gave rise to these enlightened views of the United States Constitution, a rule of law, of God-given rights, of kind of a separation of powers, of an ability.
Don't forget slavery.
Well, look, there's a lot of historical wrongs that have been corrected by this country over its 250 years. This is the greatest engine of freedom across the world, promotion of freedom, and a beacon for it. So yes, there's been stumbles and missteps and black marks, real like black eyes in this whole thing. But the society has moved forward, and there's been great advancement. So I think as a model, there's nothing like it.
Are you okay having the Ten Commandments in every classroom?
To the extent that they inform a lot of the value system, it should not be taken away from it. Certainly, if there's others, they can have it alongside it. But
Do you think the Ten Commandments should be in the classroom?
They have every right to put it in the classroom.
But I'm asking a different question now.
Yeah.
Do you think they should be? I'm asking a values question.
I think it's up to the local, we want schools to be local. We want parents to be involved. But to the extent that it's excluded, that's wrong. But if the parents in the local school system want to put it in, yeah, sure.
I heard you say, I'm going to read this.
Uh-oh.
You said, I myself am not an expert on education. The fact that public schools can't be great for my kids really upsets us, that we have to deprogram our kids after school. You said from eating bugs or whatever nonsense are being piped in, and these are grade schools. You're complaining about how even at the earliest grades, your kids get programmed. You have to deprogram them when they leave. You don't want that to happen. And yet you're okay with kids who may or may not be Christian, just as an example, having the Ten Commandments on the wall. Can you see how that might be a contradiction to some?
Well, no. I mean, the first is the Ten Commandments. That gives you the historical creation of this United States that certainly
Well, no, it gives you a set of directives. Thou shalt not. It's literally don't do this.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh my, okay. Jesus Christ. See, once again, Marc Lamont Hill is exercising a lot of patience than I ever could, because I'm not going to sit here and have a conversation with you if you're just going to sit here and try to sweet talk me. You see what I'm saying? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. At some point, if you're going to be a hateful person and you want this democracy to fail and become a dictatorship, stand on business. Stand on that and say it. Don't sit here and try to pretend like, oh man, like we're not really doing this. We just trying to, do this and that. Like, no, that's what cowards do. Don't do that. Don't be like this idiot here, DJ Fusion, just being an idiot. I'm sorry.
Let's see how you do under pressure. Yeah, I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me. Brush it off, pick myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra.